Hello everybody, happy Thursday. We are here for another stream. You guys are looking at some apples we were painting yesterday at the end of stream. And so we're gonna work on those more today, but not just yet. So we're gonna do our warm-ups. And I want to talk about something I was thinking about this morning while we do that. And then we're also gonna work on, we're gonna put a lot of time into our recipe wall art. So I'm making like wall art out of old family recipes. That way we can send it to family members and friends or whatever who frequently ask for the recipe. And now they won't have to anymore because they'll just have to look at their wall art and the recipe will be there. So we're gonna work on that. We got a pretty good, I'd say we almost finished one of them. I just kind of want to like get a fresh look at it today, see if I'm really happy with the font where we placed everything. And then after that, we're going to do a painting session. We're gonna work on this again. I want to do the background, needs a little bit of love. And I think we need to kind of address some of the foreground values as well. So we're gonna work on like definitely working out like what leaves are forward, what leaves are behind. Not getting too detailed, but getting like the values correct, as well as kind of finishing up the background. I don't want to work on this one too much more than this. Otherwise, I think we're going to end up in a detail rabbit hole. So we're going to have to be, cautious. Because you guys know, I do be getting overly detailed. It is a tendency of mine. Okay, so this is very messy. Hold on, let me fit this. Oh, you can't group layers. So what I want to do, I like breaking them down into sessions. What if we can do that? I'll just stick this in there. We'll call this session 1. Apple orchard. I have to make sure I'm naming my layers properly, guys. I didn't name this one, just said paint study 1. Let's do it, let's call it my gosh, what should I name this guy? It's like feels like naming an art piece. Dusk at Bailey's Bay. Okay. So we did that first. And then we did this study of Annabelle, our dog. And then we started doing this. So yesterday we finished our character sheet for our silly ducks. We don't have to work on that today. Feels good to have it done. Today we are going to, these are yesterday's drawings. I'm going to pull up these files and we're going to do some character design studies. And fortunately, I have my tea pre-made so I don't have to leave to get some. Okay, so I saved this yesterday, which is good. I should probably be naming these layers. I put dates with them. Oh, they didn't date these, but that's okay. So yesterday I was kind of talking to you guys about what I discovered with how I should be like maybe reapproaching character design a little bit differently in a more of like a silhouette type of mindset. I think it's still taking my brain a little bit to like fully adapt that method. But you know what they say? Practice makes perfect. Or Übung macht den Meister. And I will ich will ein Meister sein. So we gotta practice. I'm gonna pull up reference images from Pinterest. I'm ready to get started. So earlier this morning, I was drinking coffee and just kind of like waking up. I was like, got this video in my feed about drawing portraits and like what most people do wrong. And he was talking about how when you draw portraits, not to start with the eyes because it's like way too small of a detail and it gives you no like base of like how to work off of it to get all the proportions right and stuff. And I was like, I already knew that because like I'd studied portrait drawing before, but what I didn't think about is I was like, that's how I typically kind of start characters' faces if I'm doing like cartoon stuff. And I was like, what if, like he was saying how like what makes a person recognizable isn't just their eyes, right? Like sometimes it's really hard unless you have really unique eyes, I guess. But if like you just see like a cropped in picture of someone's eyes, you're not gonna know who they are. But when you zoom out and you see the nose and the chin and the ears and just everything, like then you recognize who the person is. And I was thinking maybe what I need to be doing when I start a character face is be like, what story do we want to tell about the character face in like just general outer shape? Like if I silhouetted the head, like is chin bigger than the top of the head for the character? Is it smaller? And then like, do we see the cheekbones? Like stuff like that. And so I kind of want to play around with some ideas like that and then work from like outside in. So we like establish generally how we want the face to be shaped. I mean, we have to keep some anatomy in mind, of course, and then like work inward into the features. So we're gonna see how that goes. This may be a terrible idea or it may work. So we're gonna give it a shot. It's worth trying. That's what I figured. And these little warm-up sessions are so good. I really like drawing in this like brownish color. Like a brown red. Okay. Maybe we'll do some bodies first, just like full body sketches, and then we'll do the heads. I think that's what we're gonna do, guys. Which one do I want to do? Which one of these poses? There was one I was looking at. There we go. Imagine thinking more in silhouette. That's really what we're getting for this one. Shift it back here. That makes up some of this silhouette. Now I think with the head, so she has her hair down. And then we're getting the glasses. Well, I think I should have made the head a little bit taller there, guys. You know what? We're not gonna worry about it. We're just warming up. This is just our warm up. So let's not worry about it. Let's do this other pose. This is like a very generic. What am I actually seeing here? And what I'm doing is I'm including the clothing. Like I'm gonna pretend that's a big piece of this character's recognizability. I don't know if that's a word. It's a word today. And she has her hair in a braid, which contributes to some of this shape. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. And she's waving. We're just gonna go with the old oven mitt hand. This is pretty accurate silhouette what we're getting here. She's got like this long jacket. Kind of squares off the shape. Do, do, do. I shouldn't let myself get too detailed. Let's do this. We got, it's like a bunch of different frames from a baseball player throwing a baseball. Arm. See the head. And the mitt. These are pretty old looking photos. It's a little hard to see some of the details. This is even like that. Let's do one more of these. Joan has the best silhouette. Man, I feel like I'll blow out my wrist trying to do this. So these poses look like they're falling down. Let's just do this one. So we're getting like this generic shape here. So this knee. It's interesting he's like on a sloped platform. So it's like pointing down, even though his foot is flat. I don't know where they were shooting pictures of this. The oven mitt's kind of taking up this space here. It's interesting seeing how the elbow looks depending on like the angle you're getting into. Wow, this looks absolutely nothing like the pose. Where did I go wrong? Probably in the proportions. I think we need to leave. So the ground is like this in the picture. We're seeing just a little bit of like the back of his head. Like this. His head. Maybe it's his mitt that's throwing us off. Honestly, this could just be a bad pose I chose. Like, unless you have all the details of the image, it's hard to even, like, see what's happening. Also, I feel like I should have made the bag longer. Alright, we're just gonna call that a fail. And we're gonna move on. Let's try some other ones. If first you don't succeed, try again tomorrow or a different pose today. Let's try this one. Again, trying to think more in silhouette terms first. Now, I think for the next ones, I'm going to try and exaggerate the character a little bit. So we'll choose a pose and then we'll say, okay, we want it to have like maybe really big feet or something. And see what we can do. Just try something, you know? All right, let's grab one of these poses here. I have a character like holding a box. Maybe we should probably be generous with ourselves and... Alright, we got this guy who's like painting. We do him. I feel like I want to make him shorter. And I want to make maybe the ball cap bigger. And perhaps exaggerate the hands, because I kind of like the hands. So in general, silhouette shape, if I exaggerated it, we're kind of getting this. So what if we did that type of thing? This foot kind of comes at this angle. Actually, this one's a bit more like this. And then for the arm, this would be one hand. I've made the knuckles like really big. They're kind of like that. And he's got a sleeve. And it would connect up very gently into the butt here. So his shirt has like a collar on it. Maybe we can play that up a little as well. Okay, so this character doesn't... Because of the collar on his shirt, you really don't see much of this guy's neck, which might be kind of fun to just kind of like really change into the design. Also, his arm is coming like up and then like right in front of the face on his backside. I wonder if we were to lower it just a little like that. I might like do it. And stones here, although we do need to make sure we're aligning the hands correctly, because the paint roller here, and we get the roller here. Okay, so I think our hat's gonna be a big piece of how we're gonna perceive this character and the direction their heads face. But the hat's the first thing I'm gonna go in for. We're honestly not seeing a whole lot of his face. Maybe make the ears bigger. Bit of a nose like that. But I think the face is just gonna come right in. This doesn't look too bad, guys. Trying to keep in mind like the silhouette we want to have. I probably made his hands a little too big. That's only 3 fingers. No. I'm like AI, but worse. I'm adding less fingers rather than... Actually worse. I don't know. I'd say it better. Now, the thing is, if his hand was down lower, he's not really going to be grabbing it the same way he was in the reference. So maybe we just change the hand entirely. We have it come down like that. And then his thumb kind of just rests here. There we go. Let's make this come down a little. Okay. As our first little characterized person. This isn't terrible. I kind of like it. He is a little, a little crooked. We just straighten him out there. That was kind of fun. Okay, let's do another one. Let me get a drink of Tito before it gets cold. It's gotten kind of like lukewarm. So I can pretty much just like guzzle it now. I'm trying to just like chug all my tea. Okay, there's this picture. It's a good reference. I like her hair. Everything does kind of flow together with her shape here because she's sitting down and she's in like a pretty big cardigan. Plus her skirt, so it's all just kind of flowing together. I think I'm gonna make her neck really skinny. Just kind of like, because her hair, she has it like in a short bob, and I like the idea of us getting like almost this lampshade look. And the cardigan come up. A little skinnier than that. And then she has like her one ear kind of like exposed there. And then put her other ear in here. Like we're still maintaining the shape. And as far as her hands go, this one's like here. And she's got the cup of coffee about here. I've actually, I have to confess, I've drawn this pose a lot. Which is kind of interesting then to try it. Oh, these are terrible fingers. Big shapes, Emma. Take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay. It's me trying to draw hands. Look how the cardigan comes down like this. Okay. I do like this. Let me get these lines in here. I'm gonna make her eyebrows pretty high up. And I'm actually gonna give her like short bangs. I think that'd be cuter. Like mini bangs. Nose. Just kind of cute. Balancing out this one sleeve would be an artistic deviation I'm going to do. And there's some buttons on her cardigan. Now she has like her bag sitting on her lap, but I'm not gonna do that. And she then this foot. Scott Stinker, hello, welcome. So have you a history of artists in your lineage? I would say yes and no. My grandfather, I think when he was in like, I think like late 20s around then, he did like calligraphy a little bit. So he would like paint signs and stuff. And I think he used to do, was it like, I can't 100% confirm this. I think I was told that he also did like some like calligraphy for like the covers of books. Not sure if he did any children's books, but other than him, not really. I have seen like some of his older drawings and he was pretty good, but he ended up just like not pursuing art. But I would say other than that, I don't think I have any other like artists in my family. I mean, my brother, he's like a musician. My mom is like really crafty though, so I would consider her like kind of an artsy person, but she's not like a professional artist. So, you know, she's pretty good at sewing. She's like pretty good at crafting stuff. She knows a fair amount of like woodworking stuff. Just like, you know, like enough to like fix stuff around the house or build things. So she's pretty creative. I would say if I get it from anyone, it's probably my mom. Yeah. Okay, we gotta get this other foot in. Here we go. We don't see too much of this other leg in here. Just a little. Now I have to put in the chair she's sitting on, which is gonna be the most difficult. We really don't see much of it. It's a small, like, folding chair. You don't actually even see the base of it, which I might change in my design. And then it's kind of like here. We'll say that's good enough. That's a chair. That counts as a chair. There we go. All right, let's go 5 more minutes and then we should probably get working on the recipe that we were working on. The recipe art piece. All right, let me quick choose a pose. Something we can really turn into a character. I'm looking for a reference that just... something that speaks to me. Ballet, volleyball. I have some volleyball reference. I feel like sports are really good for looking for like references to draw, just because there's like a lot of like motion into them, the different poses. Maybe somebody running. Alright, I gotta choose one fast. Alright, we're just gonna do this guy skateboarding. I feel like we're gonna unexaggerate his head. I'm gonna make it longer. So I'm deciding with this character. And then also I'm gonna exaggerate the size of his shoulders. It's gonna look like a football player. But then we're gonna contrast it. The really tiny waist. And then this foot went like this. And I think I'm gonna just make this angle of the other foot a little bit. More like that. I'm gonna also exaggerate his muscles. Let's make him look like the Hulk. Maybe this guy just has like, we don't even see the neck. It just instantly goes in the face. And sunglasses. Because you gotta look cool. And you're skateboarding. And his hair. Very short hair. Sunglasses. Serious expression. Perfect. This hand. Kind of in a different pose in the reference, but I'm just gonna leave it. This arm actually kind of comes forward. So like this. I should change the angle there of the shirt a little. Okay. Then we're gonna put this arm like that. His hand's kind of like this. Okay, we gotta kind of use our imagination here on this hand. Okay, I think we need to lengthen the legs a little. Just a tiny bit. Okay, the foot's kind of like did that. Actually, this isn't bad. Not terrible. Okay, let me get some tea. Okay. I think we did pretty good today, guys. I feel like I have a better sense of like the direction I want to go as I try to teach myself to improve my character design skills. What will be interesting to do would be like, I guess like, you know how people make like their own original characters? It would be interesting to create like a list of like characteristics for the character and then try to develop one around that. Just kind of play with that would be interesting, rather than like we would use references for poses, I think, just because I'm still beginning. But then try to like really morph it into whatever the like my character ends up being. And we could even do like, we could try doing like animal characters too, because the children's book that I'm working on, like we have a bird and we have a mole and there's a turtle in it. So it'd be interesting to try to design some like unhuman characters as well, because I feel like the Disney ones we study was a good way to warm up for that. But I think we're doing good, guys. Let me open. Here we go. I'm also going to create a new file for this because I decided to go with a different ratio. We went with the 16:20. File, new. Do it in inches and see my pixel size. 16:20 vertical. I don't know if you guys have this trouble with Photoshop, but it frequently... It's like you'll be going to make a custom size and it keeps like changing it back to the like whatever ones that were plugged in before, and you have to quick do it. You have to quick create it before it switches back. Okay, file information. Let me just make sure this is a large enough file. There should be somewhere that tells me. Image size. I think we can do that. Its width. That's probably big enough. That's a pretty big file. I don't imagine people are going to be printing it too large, so I think this is probably good. Let's see how it fits. Let's see how it fits on. Okay, so I don't need the rough layer. Actually, I'll probably take it with this. Anyway, this I like. This I don't. The white background we can fit in. Let me unlock this. And unlock that. And this. This is interesting. Why is it so much smaller? Hold up, let's check out. Not canvas size, maybe not. Yeah, it's 18. Why is it so much smaller? It should technically be fitting. I wonder why it's not. (18:24). Oh, because... Oh my gosh, guys. I'm sorry. My brain. Let's just say... I figured out what I was doing wrong. That other file's huge. Do I want to... Question is, do I really want to shrink this? I think so. Yeah, because this ratio fits. How's it look? I might want to take it a little bit smaller. To even this out a little. There's a lot of layers here. That's why it's moving so slow, guys. That seems about evened out. Looks good from a distance. Okay. Put that in there. It's taking a hot minute to load the transformation. Let's zoom in on it after it's done and see if it pixelated it too much. I don't know, that's still a pretty big file. We can blow this up pretty big still. So I think we're good. We're still good on this one. I think we have to do is our background stuff needs adjusted. So our vertical stripe. Actually, that one's big enough. Put this layer. One of these layers in here. Oh, it's this one. I actually like it without. I like it without that better. This is just a white background. Now, I did think about... Okay, we need to also fit these onto the page better. I was thinking about changing the background to have a little more color saturation. So be like a stronger off-white, maybe like a slight tan. I kind of like the idea of doing that. Now, with the vertical stripe that I have here, it's kind of like making the... Oh shoot, that's the texture. Let me find the correct layer, guys. Here it is. I wonder if I should make the line bigger. I liked it for the texture, but then I started thinking maybe like we would try to fit the text onto it. But that might be too complicated because it is a little freehand. We'd have to do a lot more readjusting. I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it was, small. I like the texture, but I don't want to be restrained to the writing the text on the lines. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna leave it. So this is our layer we have here. We can up its opacity. This looks actually pretty beat up, which I really like. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna darken these up a little. But I don't want to make it hard to read. Maybe we'll lay off that a little bit. To the speckles I added. Let's put those on a... This is... Divide, hue, saturation. I do kind of like the hard mix. Then we get like a little bit of a color discoloration where the stains are. So I think I'm going to keep that. Now what I did want to go through is I started to erase out some of the border on this. Like here. But I used the airbrush and I don't think it looked like scratched off enough. It's too soft. So I'm going to try and find an eraser that has a nice texture. Maybe... These watercolor brushes are nice. Oh, it has a bit much. Let's play around the brush settings. Maybe we can make it how we want it to be. Perhaps we're gonna get rid of that. I want to check the transfer. Do pen pressure. So I want it to fade, but that could work. I think I took off too much. Do you like the texture? I keep checking out my other monitor. It's kind of helpful to see. You guys wondering why I keep looking over. Yeah, at a different angle kind of helps. What if we change the mix layer on this? Like, what if the outside border was a little different? Go ahead and change the color. It'd be nice to see the stripes through it. I mean, if we just do like color, no, maybe not color burn. Green, none of these are showing anything. Multiply, darken. Doesn't really look too much different. That we may have taken off. Where is the... I had a different layer. I could probably... Should I erase out some of this too? Make it look a little bit more worn. What's this layer? Okay. I kind of like it. Yeah. Okay, let's go down. I think I may have erased out a little too much on this layer. But it's okay, because it may not be a bad idea. I didn't like this box being too overbearing. I really like this, like, this looks like a big stain. I really do like that. So maybe I should be careful about how much I change that. But, you know, so this layer, yeah, I'm just gonna erase this a little. I think we've got too much color there. Okay, guys. Let's save it. Let me find where I want to save this file. Ratio. No, not in there. Here it is. I want to make a new file. It's called the Family Beverage Cheesecake. And that should do it. Maybe we should export it, upload it to RedBubble like we did yesterday, see how it looks as like a mock-up, and then kind of go from there. Let me export this image now that we have it saved. JPEG, gotta do it. I'm like tempted to make the text more saturated, but I think I should hold back because we don't want it to look like too red. It might be a little bit unrealistic. Right, saving. Let me go to my shop. Add new work. I started uploading this morning some of my silly duck drawings to my RedBubble shop. They look pretty darn cute. I'm hoping the next couple weeks to like order some from there, and then I'll be able to show you guys some stuff and see if we like how it looks printed from there. I want to try getting their photo prints, probably one of their art prints, and then maybe a blanket, because I'm always cold, guys. So it might be nice to have like another blanket to have on stream. Okay, this looks pretty darn good actually. Okay. We want this to be... Yo, I never thought about it. I wonder how big the magnets are. Why not have it as a magnet? You could put it on the fridge. That'd be a good place. Okay, art print, check. And what else did I want it on? I don't hate the idea of it being on a notebook. But it doesn't really fit, so we're not gonna bother with that one. It doesn't fit their artboard ratio, which would be a lot taller. So they might not be able to offer an artboard, but I'm not sure many people even get those. Alright, let's see how it looks. Loading. Processing. Once this one's done though, we gotta work on the next one, which I think was the sticky bun recipe we were doing. So we'll actually be doing something a little more entertaining. I know it's not very fun to watch me kind of like fiddle with the details of this. So it'll probably be a bit more entertaining. How big the magnets are. Yeah, these will be really, really small. Look at this, guys. Be a tiny little magnet. There's no way you'd be able to read the recipe. So maybe not a magnet. Canvas print. It cropped it. It said it wouldn't. That is good to know. That is good to know. Oh, but the artboard print now did work. I am really confused with RedBubble at times. I'm not gonna lie. When you're uploading. That looks pretty good though. It has a white trim. Okay, you get a photographic print. Oh, you know why? It wraps some of the print around the edges of the canvas. That's why it does it. But it doesn't show you that until it's on the mock-up. I'm gonna have to make sure that I don't offer that, otherwise people will be like, what the heck happened? So I might have to remember to turn that off. They do have poster versions. I feel like I might order one of their posters, because I feel like those I would recommend more because the prices seem pretty good, and if the coloring is good, like, why not get a poster rather than an art print? I think the difference with the art prints is they're not like a glossy, but most of my stuff would look good like on a gloss print anyway. Like, I got these ones done at Walmart, they're glossy and it looks totally fine. Sometimes it helps like make the color pop. Now if I was printing like fine art copies, maybe I would care, but I'm not doing that yet. And if I do, I'll just make sure they're, you know. All right, here's one more mock-up. I think the test, I need to send it to my mom, see what she thinks of it. It's kind of cute. I think we should move the cheesecake up a little though, guys. The single slice. And I do think that needs to come up a little. Let's hide the box. Yeah, we gotta balance this better. Yeah, that looks better. And then the full cake. Can we make it a little bigger? Just a tiny bit. I think we almost need to work on the arrow then that I drew in. Let's get rid of that arrow. I think it's distracting me. That is for the crumbs. crust filling. There we go. Do I like where the cake is placed now? Just a little to the left. I wonder if I should add in a note, because we don't have a recipe for the raspberry sauce that's on it, but I put it on it because that's usually how we like to eat it. We haven't always eaten it like that. I wonder if I need to put in a note about that. I'll ask my mom. See what she thinks. It's always good to get a second opinion. Oh, I feel like I lost my pen. Okay. Right, so, alright. Now we're going to redraw in that new arrow. What's from the brush I was using? Watercolor. Which one? Is this one? Yep. And oh, I need to pull up. Let me pull up the Pura file so we can get the correct color. Oh, it keeps slouching. Alright, put side deck in front of me. I sit straight, guys. I must fix my posture. I'm like worried about getting old and then, you know, like hurting my back and stuff, my shoulders. So I'm trying to be this year a little bit more conscious about how I sit, and then hopefully I can build a good habit. I got into a really bad habit where I would like sit with like one of my legs up and like I'd be sitting on it, and it cuts a lot of circulation. I'm trying to get better at keeping both of my feet on the ground. So, you know, when you sit so much for your job, it's just one of those things you think about eventually. It's like people to be office workers. Okay. Color is 61001D. Oh, that's brighter than I thought. But it's probably because the brush is on multiply, actually. And I was using 30. /30. Okay. Turn that up. I think what I want to do because you go from these, you go from this instruction to this one. And I feel like this will compositionally help fill up this space. How do we like that? Maybe we should swirl it. Oh no, that's terrible. Maybe we shouldn't cross over. Not terrible. Alright, I'm gonna send a screenshot of this to my mother and see what she thinks. This really is her recipe, kind of. Does it look like there's a... Hold up, let me zoom in here. Oh, I thought there was a trim at the top. We're good. What do you think? Does the layout feel natural? to read. If she says no, I think a little bit of me inside might just disappear into a little soul that blows off in the breeze. But it's okay. We need to have second input. It's good to have feedback. Some of those people are like, I like having feedback, but I'll be honest, sometimes it does hurt a little bit. But that's how we improve. Not sure if she'll see it, so we might just move on to doing the next one. All right. This one, I'm gonna close, start copy. Let me open our file that had the recipe art print ideas, because we need to pull up the sticky bun one. Okay, I didn't get too far along on this one, actually. No, we did have the ginger snaps. And this apple one. Also, we're gonna do sour bun, which would be fun. Sticky buns. Let's do those next. I feel like those are really popular with my family. I put that layer on the top. Let's make a new folder for this. Just call it sticky buns, I guess. And let's name the file. Okay, so what we want to delete is everything except for... We can close this now. We don't want to delete our lines. We don't want to delete the background color. We don't want to delete any of the textures we added to the pages, because I want those to be cohesive as we go along. This is the original recipe. Get rid of that. Freehand border. We might make a new one of those. I'll hide it, and then we'll make a decision about that later. Okay, so I'm pretty sure how I did it on the other layer is I did everything. I drew it under the stripe line. So I think we can start our first layer here. This is gonna be our... So I have terrible pictures of it. Great start, I know. We're gonna have to use our imagination a lot. They're kind of like cinnamon buns, but they're not like 100% like a cinnamon bun. But I think we can use cinnamon. Those shapes to kind of like get what we're looking for. Okay, this is a good image. Let me put these in pure ref. There we go. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind is there is a doubled recipe on the back, but I think I decided we weren't going to worry about that and just stick with the original one. Because most people I don't think are going to make it double. We have a really big family, so my mom usually just doubled everything. But Might be an insane amount for normal people. And these look good. Okay, I like this image for texture. Let me show you guys what I got going here in Pure Ref. So there's good references here. I'm liking the colors. Because especially the top one, it seems like it has a similar color palette to the cheesecake we just did. So I'm definitely liking that. Definitely liking that. The difference is she usually puts walnuts on the top. But is that in the recipe? It's not. I think we need to put in a special note about that. I think we're gonna have space for it too. There's a lot less like written instructions on this one. So I think it might not be a terrible idea. Okay. I think this is all. We can expand this. Looks like I wanted to put a cup of coffee with it. That's kind of a fun way to have the design. I'm not totally in love with the composition though. For roll them out. Do like the rolling pin. Because that's like an important part of it. Perhaps what we do, let's zigzag it a little. Rolling pin here. And then this. This is like, I did, oh, see, I have like sticks of butter. I like that. One cup brown sugar, half cup butter, 2 tablespoons corn syrup. She doesn't use corn syrup anymore. Oh, maybe she does for these. I know my mom doesn't usually cook with corn syrup. But sometimes there's some recipes you don't want to mess with. So I might want to ask her about that one before I make any changes to the recipe. I don't know what she would use instead. Let's just start by painting these elements separately. Maybe start with the pot up there. I think that's what we're gonna do. Because those will be the hardest parts, honestly. This is gonna be pot. Let's look up some references for that too. It's better not to go without. Be like a saucepan, I think. Do we have one that's not like on a white background? I kind of want one that has like a, it's gotta look a little cute. But we don't want to draw too much attention. It's a nice saucepan. Yo, pans are expensive, guys. Oh, I just opened the Creative Cloud. I did not want to do that. Okay, are we doing putting the reference in here? All right, we gotta say I can't speak. Saucepan reference. One thing I don't like what I did here. Maybe let's figure out more of the composition before we go ham on coloring this in. I did not show a whole lot of the top of the pan, but then we're getting like top angle and other stuff. I feel like it's a bit more natural too. see a bit of the top. We're not gonna put a lid on this one. Now, granted, I know there's better ways to draw cylinders. First, you draw squares in perspective, and then you do circles around them. But you know what? I want it to look organic and slightly not perfect. So we're just gonna go with kind of using my terrible judgment and freehanding it, as one does. And we might make the handle just a wee bit smaller than they did theirs. So the pan has a slight lip on the edge, which I like. There we go. We know the rules, guys. Just when you think the drawing's done, you gotta flip it. This is the rule. You gotta inverse it before you call it done. Because that is when you notice all of your mistakes. Always mirror it. My best advice. And when you work digitally, there's really no excuse other than just being terrified to see what happens. Which honestly is kind of valid. But you gotta overcome the fear, guys. Trust me, it pays off in the end. I think it's tough because I think if you guys watch me, you'd feel probably a lot less pressure because you realize that like my drawings all start really ugly before they start to look good. And I know there's a lot of people who can just like go at drawing something and it comes out looking so beautiful and perfect. And I really think those people are like really cool. And I wish I could be like them, but I'm not. And I think once I like accepted that like, you know what? I'm not the kind of person where my drawings look super clean from the start and I have to spend a lot of time cleaning things up. And that's just how it is. And it's not that bad. There are a lot of people out there like that. Just kind of like learning to love your own process. I'm kind of like, when I draw, what's happening is like, although it's 2D, I'm very much like thinking in 3D. And so I'm just kind of like sculpting it out as I go. As I find the edges and how I want it to look. But I don't know until I start getting some lines down and I start feeling it out. I think for me anyway, that's just the best way to get the process rolling. All right, we got our saucepan. I probably don't need to Google sticks of butter, but you know what? Butter, 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 butter. Everything's butter with butter. Oh, I could have them like cut into little slices. How many cups? There's usually pre-measurements on the butter sticks that tell you. See if I can see it on here. Okay, so half a stick. 1 full stick of butter is a half cup when melted. And the recipe calls for... Single recipe calls for half cup of butter. So technically the original recipe only calls for 1 stick of butter. That's not gonna be fun. Just one. Okay, so for only drawing 1 stick of butter, maybe we should do it where it's like we cut the little slices. Unless people think that's part of the recipe where you have to cut it into little pads of butter, but you don't. I think I'm thinking too far. I'm a chronic overthinker, guys. What can I say? So let's find a reference we'd like. Copy image. Let me show you guys what I have. Here's our saucepan reference. Here's our butter. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the butter similar to this. Butter's gonna be tough because it's fairly light and we're doing it illustrative, so we're gonna have to be careful how much. Gonna get this angle right. Oh yeah, I can draw rectangles in perspective, guys. So well. It's alright. We're gonna be nice to ourselves because that's what I would want other people to do. I think this stick of butter would be a lot bigger. It's just a tiny saucepan. You don't really actually need that big of a pan. Okay, so we got the stick of the butter. Now I need to cut off little wedges of it. On the upside, butter is not... Now we just have like... Butter is very mushy, so... It can be a little misshapen. Alright, new idea. New idea. This looks like hot trash. New idea. The stick's like this. And then we have some stacks of it in the bag. Like this. Right? And then we have... Let me move it over a little bit. I don't hate that. Actually, probably a bit longer. Here's our little stick of butter. Cut into little slices. And then we can put another one maybe leaning up against it. You know what I mean? How about something like that? Oh wait, that was just erase the side. Alright, I'm not opposed to this. Just some butter. And then maybe we sit it on the paper. Because I like how theirs was sitting on the butter paper. It's best to do that so it doesn't stick anyway. And it's usually a little crinkled at the edges. How do I feel about that? Next to the pot. Let's flip this pot again. I feel like the pot... There we go. Kind of want the pot maybe a little behind the butter. Because our... Might have to flatten this out actually a little bit, guys. I don't think we'd be seeing that much from the top. You know what I mean? Oh, hold up. This looks not terrible. Are we on to something? No, I don't think we're gonna tuck it behind like that. Let's lay it more back here. And then let's get this butter parchment out just a little bit more. We'll have to worry. Not worry. We'll have to... We have to worry. Don't worry, guys. We don't need to worry. Because I'm going to make sure this is not a tangent. Let's move the pot Maybe bring it further in. Maybe further out. Oh, I grabbed the background. Let me lock these layers. I don't actually grab them again. Maybe the pot goes... Yeah, I did like... Maybe it's not a terrible idea. Just keep it here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the pot almost looks like the lid is just ever so slightly off. There we go. Just the little things. Okay, I don't dislike this. Let's grab the butter with it and put it about here. Okay, so we got a good sketch for that before we... Oh man, maybe I shouldn't have rotated that, guys. Now that I look at it on my other monitor, let's leave it how it was. We're only using this as a little guide anyway. Alright, rolling pin. Rolling, 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 rolling. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. This time, I'm gonna be smart. We're gonna draw a long rectangle first in the perspective we want it to be in. Oh boy. That's right, we got this. Relatively correct. Getting a lot of warping going on. We're just gonna pretend it was a fisheye lens as we try to straighten this out. I don't know if we're seeing enough at the top. Maybe I need to turn off the grid. That kind of feels easier to look at, actually. Although I do like this color. Yeah, let's just leave it off for now. Lines go like that. They're probably about like that down here. Okay. We're going to light this up. And we're gonna grab it. Similar to the butter color. And draw our circle with a rolling pin in here. I'm gonna imagine comes up here. Oh, not that line. Okay. All right, I'm gonna lock it in. This is good. Now for the center of the pin, it's just gonna come out like this. I think that's how our rolling pin used to look. But I know there's ones that don't even have the handles on it. I think that's usually what the professional bakers use. Let's see what the internet has. My Google history is gonna think I'm really into baking. I kinda like this one better. Let's just get the general direction right, and then we can make it cuter or about there. much of the handle might need to come out further. Because you have to think you need to have room to put your whole hand in there. You have to hold on to it. Let's flip it around. Definitely crooked here. That feels better. Now some of them, like, they get bigger on the end, which I think looks cuter. It's a little bit more decorative. So I would do something similar like that on ours. But yeah, that came out really wrong on this side. Let's flip it again. Just gonna adjust that. I think it's because it's not quite the right proportion. All right, that's good enough for now, guys. Let's do the dough. Dough. I should have it partly under. I probably shouldn't have it take up this much. I don't want to take up too much space on the board here on our recipe, because we are kind of, we got low on space there for a little on the other one, and I don't want to run into that same problem. I think we need to be more careful about making sure we have enough space. You know, what about, guys, what if we had it all flipped and the rolling pin this way? Maybe not a terrible idea. Make sure our silhouettes are good. It's probably good for now. Okay, now when the sticky buns come out of the oven, you flip it upside down, and then all the like caramel you put on the bottom of the pan is suddenly on the top. And so I have here is what they look like when they come out of the pan. And we kind of got like a rectangle here. Going, try and match this perspective over here. How many does she usually do a cross? Let me look at the picture we had of the actual ones we made. Looks like 5. 1, 2, 3. It's usually 4 across. Okay, my mother just got back to me on the cheesecake we finished. So she loves the layout, but she also says, I see a couple places where I probably didn't explain the recipe very well for someone who has not made it before. Like telling that the egg whites need to be whipped until stiff peaks form before folding into the cream cheese mixture. Maybe just say fold in beaten egg whites. That's a good idea. Okay, good thing we said it's her. All right, so we'll have to make those changes. She's typing. She's got other ideas. Hold up. Okay, it might be a while. It looks like we did 4 though. You just say graham cracker crumbs instead of just graham crumbs. That's a really good point. Okay, definitely good we sent this to her. These are a lot of things I did not even notice. Let me just ask her. Let's ask her how many sticky buns. I think I counted 4. It's hard to tell with the topping though. It really just all kind of becomes one from the outside looking, but once you cut into it, you can separate the pieces. I think it's about 4. My gosh, I just saw I have like so many typos. My mom's like across. I guess it doesn't really matter, but there are some. It would be nice to have a general idea, proportional wise, what we're kind of dealing with here. The corner pieces are my favorite because they get like this hard caramelized sugar. Oh, so good. So good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3. It's probably like 6. Wait, how many got here? 3? Yeah. Don't need to worry too much about this. She's gonna tell me it's 5. No. 1, 2, 3. Actually, it could be 5. You know what we're gonna do? If it's 5, we're just gonna go to the end here. See this little... And we'll just make it wider. But then it looks like a square. Alright, so she's still typing. Maybe she doesn't remember. She probably just goes by how it looks when she cuts them. She stopped typing. No! Well, maybe don't worry about these too much. We could do the drawings on the finished one down there by the coffee cup. Because that's going to take a long time to draw. Because, you know, not very good at... 6 rows of 4 across, giving a total of 24. Thank you. All right, these are important notes that I'm going to put into our Puree file here. This will go with the cheesecake notes. I need to do these. And then we had to change graham cracker crumbs. That as well. Okay, and then in terms of Sticky buns. 6 rows. 4 across. I'm getting hungry. All right. So this is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did it right. Phew. Are these walnuts or they're pecans? Let me ask her one more time. I wonder if it makes a difference. Pecans. Okay. Bless my mother. These are important notes we're gonna need when we start writing the recipe. Also, I need to be more mindful about actually paying attention to the recipe and fitting in some words that may be useful for people who haven't done them before. Because I do remember that not everybody's gonna have done this recipe before. But if I do, I don't know. I mean, if I make it nice, like where everybody can understand the recipe, then I can have them on my RedBubble shop. If not, I might have to just keep it to like family and friends. Alrighty. Man, today, guys, I could not get my Instagram to upload a new short. And so I tried, like, there's no way to cancel it. So I tried to upload a new one. And I was like, well, what's there to lose? And it's still just infinitely loading on my account. I'm like, this is unfortunate. And I checked my phone. I'm like, well, maybe there's an app update. Sadly, there is not. I don't really know what to do. But Instagram's kind of like, not that many people see my silly duck drawings through there anyway. So I'm not too worried about it. YouTube usually does better. YouTube and TikTok. More people get to see them on there. Which is great. At least one of the platforms. It's working. Okay. Do I want to put the pecans on top? When I was younger, some reason I didn't like them, which is weird because I've always liked eating nuts, but some reason I didn't like it. And my mom used to just do like half a pan with them on, the pecans on, and then half without. So we can do that in the illustration, but it might look kind of funny. I don't want it to look weird. People be like, what? I don't know. We'll worry about that later. If we did do it, it would be like, I'm gonna use a redder color. Look at my reference image a little. They kind of get buried in a lot of the glaze, so you don't see them too much. Oh my gosh, I could really eat one of these right now, guys. So good. I don't want to get too like overboard. We'll keep this a layer here. Just the dough. Alright, so now we need to do the coffee mug and the singular one. Sitting upright. Let's check our references here. Alright. Here goes nothing, right? Let's warm this shade up a little. Decent like this. I kind of like what I had going. Definitely we're tracking. Maybe we pretend this is one of the corner pieces since that's what I like the best. So like this half would be nice and rounded. You get that lovely glaze on it. And then this side, I'll have like the edge where it kind of got tore off. And we're gonna see some of these layers. Be a bit like this where it's cut. Hold up. Yeah, because you have to cut it out. Swirls. That's a layer. Like that. I kind of like the idea of keeping it a little bit abstract. And it's like, you only see this part would be all shaded. Because that part would be covered in like the cinnamon. And then the dough would get lighter. Like there and there. But then we get this reddish golden shade here. On the outside of it. Let me make this a little bit larger. Fun part is like it is sugary, so we're gonna do a little specular highlights on these as well. I might get a little crazy with the colors because why not? Oh, it's on multiply. Okay, there we go. Like, it's not lightening up. That's pretty good for now. Straighten it up straighter. A little bit wider. I wonder if I should give it a little more character. Oops. There, like the edge kind of crumbled down like this. Kind of like the idea of that. At top, we get like. Maybe we put like a crumb on the plate. Kind of like balance out the composition a little. We could put a pecan down here. Do we put one on top? Let's leave it like that. Let's address the coffee mug. I'm telling you, you're not supposed to do it because it'll spike your blood sugar, but imagine it, it's like Saturday morning, Sunday morning, it's the weekend. You have your freshly brewed cup of coffee, and then you pop your like sticky bun in the microwave or toaster just for a little bit. just to warm it up. Oh my gosh, eating that together, no, you don't have to do any work that day. That's happiness. That is happiness. I don't know about you guys, but that is like pure joy. You don't get much better than that. Alrighty. Good base on this mug. Just gonna shrink it down a little. I really like coffee mugs that are wider. But I think I might have made it a little too wide. We don't want it to look like a soup bowl, you know? I think I probably like them wider because I have a tendency of tipping things over and breaking them. So if they're more stable, chances of me breaking it are a lot less. Now let's add a little bit of where the lip comes out on the cup. Just a little like that. Trying to give it a little depth. I need to bring this out a little bit. At least there wasn't too much that was wrong on the other one. We don't have to worry about. Should we put the handle on this side? Or should we put it on... I'm just gonna... Let's see how it looks over here. I'd like to hide it on this side, because then I don't have to worry about drawing too much of it. But if it doesn't look right, we'll have to make some adjustments. Actually, I'd probably curve a more gentle down from there. Let's curve it downwards. I wonder if I made that stick out too much. Or maybe not enough. Maybe it'd be a good idea to do it on this side. Because then we would see where it connects in a bit better. Like down here. Oh, I'm so tired, guys. What time is it? 3? It's much too late to drink coffee. So much for that, right? It's like low-key thinking about going to brew some. Maybe it's because I'm drawing it. Dude, I'm feeling thirsty for it. I need caffeine. Okay, leaving both the handles on it looks like those double-handed sipper cups. I I think it's a no-go with it on this side. We're gonna make it work on this side. Should probably pull up a reference. You know what they say, haste makes waste. And I don't want to waste time. Well, actually, hold up. I can look at my coffee mug. See how it blends in? I think that's what I need to do. I need to blend this side at the top into the design. Like that. And then we can put this little thumb rest here. Okay, and then on the bottom, like, I don't need to Google a reference. I have one right in front of me. Comes down. How'd that look from? Coming to here and then be more like that. Okay, the only issue is it needs to be bigger, considering the size of this cup. But we are slightly very gentle curve. We're gonna see from there. I need to erase out this part. I think it's tripping me up a little. I think I made it too thick here. Sculpting. Because this cup is really, it's really short. Should I make it taller? I kind of like it shorter though. I just have to figure out how this would look, because the cup I have as a reference is much taller. But we still need to have enough room to fit our hands. I wonder if we should put a base on the mug too. Like a little foot on the cup. I think that's what they call it, the foot. Okay. Let's trace that out. Alright, we gotta flip it. Let's do it. Not horrible. Not actually horrible. I am really surprised. That's tough to get the handle in right. Alright guys, I want to see if I can find a little something to show you guys quick. See if I can pull it up. Do 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 do. Okay guys, we're gonna do a hashtag ad because we are drawing a mug and I was referencing this one. And you might be thinking, Emma, what a lovely mug. And it is a very lovely mug. This is one of my favorite ones. I'm usually drinking tea out of these mugs. And earlier, Scott's thinker was like, do you have any history of artists in your lineage? And I couldn't think of one because it was kind of on the spot, other than my grandfather and my mom's creative. But then I was like, duh, my aunt, Connie, she makes pottery and she made this mug and she like runs a business doing it. So I wanted to show you guys some of her stuff. And if you guys are ever interested in getting a nice mug, or she also has fermentation and pickling crocks, apparently. She does some crazy stuff. And she does plates. Yeah, and she also, if you guys watch, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Yellowstone. That's what it's called. I was thinking it was like the name of a state. Yellowstone. There is a coffee mug that they have in it, and she has one of it that she makes. That's like from one of the characters. This one's really pretty. She has like cedar pressed into it. But yeah, go to her website. It's 2 cents ceramic. You can also see. Make sure I don't spill any. Oh, there's her logo. You guys can go to her website, and she has an Instagram as well. And feel free to check out her stuff. This color is really pretty. Hold up. This is cool. This is like, it has like flecks of green, but it's kind of like giving like copper. Definitely Christmas. Okay, I really like that. Also, this looks like a newish color. I haven't seen this color before. Sea glass and cream. Yo, these are giving sea, like seashore, like sea cottage vibes. That's really pretty. Oh, hold up. Hold up, guys. Hold up. I got something. Let's see if I can get it without breaking it. So for her, well, for her daughter's wedding, she made for like it's like the groom, the bride, and like the oh my gosh, bridesmaids and what the guys called, the groomsmen or whatever. She made these. You can see them here on my screen, but also she made these for everybody. So we got to take them home because I was also, shout out Sarah. It was her wedding. I was one of Sarah's bridesmaids. So yeah, these are really cool. But all right, guys, that was today's ad. So if you see this and you are thinking of getting like a handmade gift for somebody, I highly recommend my aunt biasly. I'm openly saying biasly because I am biased, but like her stuff is so cool, and you should follow her Instagram because she does some really crazy stuff. And she like does videos of her process, and it's just really interesting to see. There was a summer I spent down there. Whoa, look at the yellow. That's really pretty. Okay, that's really pretty. She but anyway, I'm getting off track. She tried to like teach me some pottery, and guys, if you've ever tried it, you'll know how hard it is to like make something as big as she has here. Like, so I don't have it up here. I have them downstairs. I have like tiny little bowls that I made, and I could only get them this high before it would collapse. And she's like doing stuff that is like, look how big like these steins are. And then she has, oh, look at this. Look at this jug. That's really cool. Like, how? It blows my mind. So if you follow her Instagram, you can see how she does it. It's really cool. All right, guys, we got to get back to making some sticky buns. But go follow her. It's 2 cents ceramics. I think you guys will enjoy seeing her process and everything. It's really interesting. Okay, so let's zoom out. What do we got? We got the pot and the butter. We got the rolling pin and the dough. We got what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. Should I add some like dripping, maybe some like dripping caramel-y stuff on the side? And then we got our singular one down here. I'm still on the fence about doing the... It kind of drips down like this because it's really hot when it comes out the oven, and that's when you flip it. I'm pretty sure you flip it before it cools. So you get these like molten caramel. It's so good. Just gotta keep from burning yourself. For safety reasons, don't eat it when it comes right out of the oven. Wait. Otherwise, you guys will burn yourselves. Okay. That seems pretty good. The air has been so dry in my room because we need to have like my heater up higher because it is freezing here. We're not going to get out of below freezing until like next Thursday, and it'll be high at 33, so 1 degree above freezing. But ridiculous. So I might need to go get some more tea so I don't lose my voice, because yesterday after stream I could like feel it in my throat that I was like losing my voice, and like I don't want to lose my voice, guys, because we got to finish up stream. All right, I like these. When I come back, I'm gonna make my tea. When I come back, we are going to start loosely like putting in some colors, but we're gonna keep it really loose, kind of like loose color fills like I did down there. I think what I'm gonna do is paint on top of the line work. I might make it slightly less opaque. We're gonna see what happens. All right, guys, I'm gonna put up the BRB slide and I'm gonna make some tea, and then I'm gonna be back. All right, chat, I'm back. Sorry that took so long. I finished my chamomile tea. And so I was like, what do we have? I'm trying to avoid like teas with citrus in it because I heard like the acid's bad for your teeth. I think for normal people it's totally fine though. I'm just like super paranoid, guys. If you don't know, I've had a lot of teeth trouble growing up and even into adulthood. So paranoia leads to me being extra cautious. But we had a tea. It's peach. What else was it? It's like peach, avocado. I'm like, that sounds really millennial coded. And then what else is it? It's ginger. Yeah, it doesn't taste like an avocado, so that's a win. I was a little worried. It tastes more like peach and ginger. Not really sure what the avocado is doing in there, but you know, I'm sure it's good for marketing. But it don't taste bad. All right, let me put my back to my tablet screen. Let me get one drink. I should have looked at the directions. I'm not sure how long I'm supposed to steep it. Okay, let's paint. Let's do it. So you guys can see. I really would love to have, I would almost need a second camera, but it'd be nice if you guys could like see my tablet from like with my arm, but I'm not gonna be able to do that until I probably need like a second camera. We're not gonna worry about it. The most important part is that you can see like most of the tablet on this screen, so. All right, what should we do? Should we work top to bottom? Left to right, right to left? Let's work top to bottom. Okay, this is mug, handle. I'm gonna put these all in rough sketches. All right, we're gonna paint on top. Let me lower the opacity. And then we're gonna get rid of this layer. This is like the OG. That's what I'm gonna name it. Sticky Man's OG layer. Yeah, this is good. We've simplified the canvas. I don't want to get too distracted with details. Let's open up. Are we back? I'll be honest, guys. I have no idea what just happened to my. All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna close my references. I think too many things may be running at a time. Or it may have been because my mouse was disconnected. I think we're still live, right? I think we're okay. Yeah. I really don't know what it... That's so weird. Alright, we're just gonna roll with it. I'm hoping my PC's okay. Let's save this file before something crashes. Hopefully we don't get like the blue screen of tragedy. I'm pretty sure there's like certain words you're not supposed to say on like YouTube or stream. Otherwise, like it won't show it to as many people. So I'm trying to avoid like words that may. Yeah, so it's not blue screen of. It's blue screen of tragedy. Okay. Let's close this one. No sense running two files open. We'll just open it later when we need it. I forgot to put those into our Pura file. I'll do that tomorrow. Alright, PC, be good to me. I beg you. Where is my pen? Here it is. Alright, so we were using... Let's do pot. Let's be the pot fill. I just kind of bounce through a lot of the brushes, but I feel like I primarily use this one. And I think I turned off multiply, because that way I can move into doing like layers that are lighter. I kind of want to start with like warmer, so maybe do like a purple gray for the metal. We're gonna have to work a little without a reference because I was worried that all those tabs I had open may have been a little too much for my computer's RAM. So at some point we need to upgrade my poor PC. It served me long and hard, but it needs some new components. It's getting a bit dated. Just keep it dark. Maybe how the light hit the inside there. I feel like right at the rim, it would catch like light, and then it would be dark because the rim is gonna hit the edge. Well, let's make it pretty dark underneath. It's a good thing we were painting metal not too long ago, guys, when we were doing that silly duck from Full Metal Alchemist. He's in like a knight suit, so he's all metal. There's a shoot of armor. I kind of like the idea of keeping it purplish, and then we'll work on making it a little bit more realistic, but I like the undertones of keeping it warm, because everything else is gonna be fairly warm, and I'd rather have harmony than contrast. Let's make sure our rough sketch isn't influencing too much. Just gotta turn it up just a tiny bit. Not too much. Also, I noticed, guys, I need to ask why. I don't know much about streaming. I need to ask my brothers. They might know why. But my stream is like low-key, probably 5 minutes delayed. So if you guys ask a question, it takes 5 minutes for me to notice it. It probably didn't take me 5 minutes to notice it. It's just that it's delayed that long. It wasn't always streaming like that. It's like a new feature. So I gotta fix it. But I just haven't done it yet. I'm wondering if it has to do with their internet. It says I have I think it says excellent stream quality, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. I'm just gonna make the inside darker right here. That it probably needs to be. I like exaggerating that a little bit. I want to make sure we have enough contrast. Oh, that's a little too purple. I feel like the chrome on the pot is going to be vertical, so I probably need to work on vertically shading that a little bit better. Probably shouldn't use white just yet, but I kind of want to hit those edges. Here we go. Here we go more into like the turquoise blues now. Glaze over that a little. And then we're gonna hit this rim. Hit there with a little bit of light. Make sure we get enough color variations going on in here. And we're also gonna have some bounce light from the butter over here. So we're going to keep that in mind. Let's leave it like that for now. I don't want to get too into this. I'm still trying to keep everything really loose. The pot needs a little reshaping in that upper section. Butterfill. Trying really hard not to open another tab, but it would be nice to have a butter reference. Just gonna fill it all with this for now. This is honestly pretty dark, considering. We're just gonna pretend the light's coming in from the upper right corner. And we're gonna just darken this side up a little. One thing I've learned, oh, that's off by a little. That okay, for this case we are going to put the sketch back over the top, just because I'm seeming to be losing our shapes down here. So when I shade when you shade yellows, to use some green. I used to like try to go, it makes you like feel counterintuitive, but once you start doing it, it looks okay. It's like a green yellow, but it actually works. Let's lighten this one up back here. Okay, we can put it back under. But it does work. We'll probably make the butter brighter than it was. I just like doing that. Making it look more yellow and colorful. Spice up life a little. It makes the food look more appetizing too. Just this line here. I think we need to darken this up. Probably took that too high. Let's reestablish our values. Technically that top actually needs to be the brightest point, but it got a little lost in translation. So we need to refind it. Probably a little lighter than that. Because the top of our light's gonna be hitting the top of the stick of butter. Okay, we're gonna get this one. Hesitating to go too bright. Actually, let me pull the color slider thing over here for you guys to see. Might be interesting. Alright, let's go to our greens again. And shade in this part. And then we're gonna get this shaded in here. It's gonna be even darker. We need to establish this side of the butter here. It's gonna catch some light. Probably the top there. Yeah, I'm gonna put the color picker. I feel like I'm leaning way too far that direction. Then we're gonna see a little bit at the bottom. I should darken up this part. Shape that out a little bit better. Just reshape that. This is all gonna be darker back here. We definitely need to darken up a lot more of the spots on this. We'll get there. I'm trying not to rush into highlighting anything right now. Each drawing seems to be coming with its own little unique challenges, that's for sure. Maybe if I saturate it more. Let's keep it dark. I think we need to cut this here. I have a tendency to get a little sloppy when I'm painting over it, and we end up losing a lot of those highlights. And we end up creating edges where they shouldn't have been. Try and keep myself from doing that. Alright, so the paper underneath is like white in our reference. But maybe we could do like a darker like parchment color. I kind of like doing that idea better. Butter. Parchment. Let's see how it looks. Because our butter is so light, I really hate to use a white. There we go. Let's clean up these edges just a little. Because it is like a paper. Let's darken it just a little. So we kind of get these like creases where it was folded in at the corners. And we're going to shade the browns a little darker under here. Glaze this over. Let's work more towards reds. Got dark in there. Here. And along here. Just gotta slowly lighten that out. I don't want like hard shadows. Keep it softer. Giving it more of like a dream vibe. Alright, maybe we probably won't go too much crazier on that. We should move on to the next one. Once we flip this too, we're gonna see a lot of what needs fixed. And we can address that then. I just want to get like a good idea started for each of these before we start to render them down more and problem solve. All right, guys. Next is the dough and a rolling pin. Let's do the rolling pin a similar color as the parchment. Kind of keep that harmony going. Just doing like in this about range here. We'll probably use... Let me rotate this. I'm trying to think if I want to use the texture to my advantage, or should I just give it a light fill and work horizontally rather than vertically? So what I could do is use these strokes as they build up, kind of like reinforce the curvature of it. I'm not sure if that's how I want to tackle this. I'm gonna shade that side. The handle here a little. Let's see how that looks. Not too bad. All right, I'm gonna add another layer. Let's try this. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, do I use like these? Oh, let me make that bigger. Like I could brush the strokes in like this. And I feel like this kind of helps convey the curvature a little better. Let's up that saturation. Or is it really doing anything, you know? I know on the bottom side it's gonna be darker. What if we just do a little bit of both? If it feels right, we'll do it. If it doesn't, let's work more into these light warm shades up here. just layer it in. I really like these brushes because they layer really nicely. Let's bring the sketch layer above it. Because I feel like I didn't quite get the shaded part exactly right. There we go. It's like somewhere I went wrong with the proportions. Darken up this base part. But I also have to remember wood is slightly reflective. So I gotta keep that in mind. Oh shoot, my tea's getting cold. You know, I like that tea on the initial sip. It can taste a little, I don't know. Well, it doesn't taste like avocado, so that's a win. But it doesn't taste very much like anything else. You get like a little bit of hit maybe of like the ginger. But it kind of reminds me more how like cinnamon tastes. Like, you know how cinnamon can be spicy? A bit more like that. Alright, the dough. Dough's a little bit more on the yellow side. I wonder if I should have... So what you do is you roll it out and then you put melted butter and then the sugar and the cinnamon you mix together. You put it on top. It doesn't really explain that in the directions though. I wonder if that's something we're gonna have to fill in. You know? We might have to do that. Guys, you know how yesterday I was really sleepy? Today, I am also still just feeling like I can hardly stay awake. And so I just want to apologize because I feel like streams are going to be a little bit boring when it's like that. When I have more energy, it's a lot easier to kind of like, I guess, break down more of what I'm doing in a way that might be more entertaining for you guys. But it is not this day. But it got too late, so I couldn't drink more coffee, you know? There was a time where I would drink coffee. Probably like 5 in the afternoon, I was totally fine. I guess you just build like an immunity to it, but I was like, I don't really want to do that. It's not worth it. The upside is like the less coffee you drink, when you do drink it, it actually works. Which is a big bonus. That's some of these peachy light shades in here. I think we got a good base. Since my brain is definitely fading, I think I gotta be careful how much I try to do today in this. Alright, for the cinnamon buns, we get more in the red zone. Actually, probably not. A little more saturated than that. That looks nice. Alright, let me just fill all this. The key with these watercolor brushes is not to lift your pen until you're ready to. You just have to imagine is when you lift your pen is when the paint dries. But until you lift it, it's all gonna stay wet and still blend together on that layer. Relatively, there are parts where it depends on how much you pressed like down. But it's not too critical because I'm gonna be layering a lot over top of these. Okay, cool. Got a good base going in. Let's go with a little more red and a little saturation. And I'm just gonna kind of outline, lay up this. I'm gonna kind of outline some of the parts of the cinnamon buns. So we're gonna get a little illustrative with this one. But we're gonna be trying, I'm gonna try and be like selective. So it's not like complete line work that I'm doing on top. I don't want to do that. We can indicate details, but hopefully not go too wild on them. Am I leaning too much out of camera? I need to put side hug back on my lap, guys. I need to sit up straight. Alright, let me scoot my chair in. Sorry. Hitting my desk squeaking, you guys. Gonna make you seasick. Okay. Like, I don't know how this is looking here. Well, let's finish up the sides. We might have to extend this one out this side a bit. Shade them in subtly. Some of the ones in the middle get really squished, but it's worth eating those because they get really like extra glazed and they're really good. Let's try and check our. I mean, these are supposed to be organic looking, but I think some of these got a little lost. That's not good. Alright, we'll dig them out when we get to our other layers. Then it'll be okay. Some of them end up looking honestly kind of squarish. Yeah, I wonder if in the directions you're supposed to let them raise. I wonder if that's even in the directions. I need to double check on that. Let's do another layer on top. So let's save the file. Hold on, guys. Let me get another drink. I think why I don't like this tea is because it has like the cinnamon spice, but you don't taste it. You just feel the burn in the back of your throat, but you don't taste any of the pleasant like cinnamon notes or like ginger, whatever it's supposed to be. It's like a little bit sad. Alright, so here's some of the syrup that falls off the sides. This stuff is good. I have to remember when we shade these that we're gonna have to make them look slightly glossy because they really do. So we're gonna have to look for some references. That one down here. I think I'm just gonna oversaturate these. I like doing that a little. I feel like when you use warmer tones on food, it makes it much more delicious. I may have drawn out too much. I want to indicate this a little bit more. Let's try and be a little more painterly, I think. That's what I need to remember to do. Alright, now we should work into maybe some more warm dough colors as we blend up. Yeah, this is good. I'm getting a lot of practice in painting food, that's for sure. I might need to turn down my tablet brightness. I feel like my eyes are just extra sensitive today. Plus, I don't like to turn on the brightness when I'm working on coloring. I feel like I've got like a migraine coming on. Don't know what is with me today. I do a little lighter. Maybe I should do... Let's blend something like that into these corner pieces a little. There we go. Hit it back here. I think what I'm gonna do, since the glaze is slightly transparent, I'll like pretend there's no glaze on it, and then we're gonna use a separate layer to glaze over them. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. I want it to have the right effect. I also need to get my darkest darks dark enough. Get those established in there. Just gonna like choose spots we wanna darken up, and then choose spots we wanna lighten. I think I might want to go on more of the yellowish side there. I think we might have gone a little too red. A little more harmony. Oh, you know what I can do? Let's do let's do a layer underneath. Because we're seeing a lot of through the buns here. This is kind of nice. Then let me go in here and shade the sides from underneath, but a little more subtly. That's kind of nice. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's blend these out a little bit more. Okay, let's make this glaze darker here. I'm gonna darken these really a lot, and then we'll worry about adding the specular highlights and stuff later. I want it to be kind of obvious. I had to reshape the one side. Alright, what time are we? Almost 5. Trying to think, guys. We need to be doing our paint study. So I feel like I'm feeling painted out. It's too soon to be painted out. We got a lot to do. Alright, I actually really like this color base we got going on the cinnamon buns. Or the sticky buns. Not cinnamon. There is cinnamon in them, but they have a different name. Guys, I'm gonna get up and stretch. I'll be right back. I just feel really stiff. I think if I move, I get my heart rate up a little bit, I might feel more awake. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. I think that helped. Also finished my tea. I chugged it down. I think stretching helped get the blood circulating. That's what we need to stay awake. Okay. Let's quick throw fills on these and then jump into our actual paint study from a reference. I think I would be able to do that. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be the cup. What color should we make the mug? Okay, we could do a little contrast, guys, because we almost have like bluish purple tones going on the frying pan. Maybe to balance that out, we either do like a purplish or... And we have butter up there. Butter. We could do like a yellow mug. I do think yellow kind of blends with the dough in the sticky bun. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the mug in like a bluish purple color. I think that's what we're gonna do. That's pretty much just looks like gray, but we're gonna roll with it. It's really lagging out. So tomorrow I might stream or I might not be streaming. I'll let you guys know. It kind of just depends on how busy my day gets. Damn, maybe we go a little more colorful. Hold up. Alright, let's brighten this up. Maybe do like maybe a turquoise blue for the mug, actually, maybe rather than purple, because I think I'm gonna go more turquoise with that metal up there. Let's try and match like the seafoam color that was on my aunt's website for that one mug she had. Maybe go for something like that, and then we'll try to match. Try to match the pot when we do it up there. The saucepan. There we go. Alright, we're gonna make it a little more turquoise. Saturate it a little bit more. I think that's pretty. Maybe inside the mug we do like an off whitish tan color. Only thing I worry about is people are gonna think that's like the coffee in there. What we might have to do is grab a little layer. Do it tiny. Hold up, let me rotate this. It's pretty full cup. But if we do something like that, then we'll be able to see the rim of the cup and the coffee. Something around like that. And we're also gonna have some steam coming out. Should make that like a warm color. Maybe we keep these illustrative, you know? Maybe I don't want to get Probably shouldn't get too crazy with these until I've figured out just how much space I'm gonna need for text. Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll come back to it because not 100%. Alright, we're gonna get more greenish now as we work into our highlights. Up on the rim. Okay. Slightly cool it down. Up some saturation in here. I think that'll be pretty once we blend the... Let me go up here, guys, and just quick change that. I want it to be more turquoisey color. There we go. It looks a little whack, but trust me, guys, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna smooth it out at some point. Not yet, but we will. We will. Trust the process. Let's add a little shading under the lip of the cup. A little bit more under here. We're probably gonna get some bounce light off also because ceramic is shiny. And we're gonna get a little bit of browns actually spilling off of the sticky bun onto the mug, so we have to remember to do that. I think this is cute. All right, this is gonna be single sticky bun fill, and we were using like, I'm gonna get right into using these colors first. Just put that in there. The sooner we get the fill going, the better. I'm still toying if I'm gonna keep this pecan back there. Let's move the sketch back under. There we go. We can its visibility a little, but I think we want to keep it just as a little bit of a guidance. Okay, so we're gonna get shading in here and also here. In this section, a bit like that, and then it's gonna get lighter in here where it's broken off, and we're kind of gonna get that in here, except there will be a lot of like, it's got the red speckles. This is really like the brown sugar, not the brown sugar, cinnamon is. Let's use a different brush. Oh yeah, that's a good texture. Let's put that on normal mode though. I'm gonna get a little more color out of it. That I like. I think I did that on the cheesecake one, guys, now that I think about it. Okay, so we're gonna have to make sure we do that on the other ones. I really like that. It's a nice texture. There we go. Alright, now let's go back to our... This is more like my lining brush. Oh, it's not bad. It's a nice soft bill. Maybe we go with this one. This is a regular. Airbrush it a little. Well, in there. Now let's go back to our other brush. Turn up the sketch. Oh, multiplies on. That's why it's doing that. I was like, what is happening? This one I didn't add enough red to. Let's get those red tones back in. The other one we had to fill with the more yellowy orange shades. This one I gotta get at it with the red shades. I think we got a good base going on these now. I think it's gonna look good once we smooth out all the issues, but it's not too bad. It really isn't. All right, I gotta wake my brain up enough to tackle our painting project. Put that back. Let me open that. See if we can find that file. Open. Alright, sketches. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. You know, while we're at it, let's save this while we're working on it. Let's put the date on this. We are the 29th. Okay. Alright, we're gonna pray my computer didn't crash as I open this file. Rolling challenge. Okay, I did put yesterday's in too, which is good. Okay. So, this is what we were working on yesterday. Oh man, guys. I don't know if my brain can do this today. We gotta do it though. We're gonna do it because I'm not a quitter. We're gonna just try. I think sometimes I get a little overwhelmed by all the things it's gonna need, but I think that's also what's important about these sessions, is that I just keep in mind that they're supposed to be simple. And so if it gets too complicated, I'm doing something wrong. And so we shall try. I'm just gonna try our best. Alright, I like using those brushes that feel like oils. They also keep me from being too timid. That was under winter brushes. Again, these are just the brushes that Adobe has for free. Alright guys. How many times am I gonna yawn while we do this? That is the question. Alright, let's analyze this a little. I think we need to address the right side of the canvas actually before we move on. Probably gonna want to do that. Let's do this. Apple needs to come forward a little. I think I'm gonna keep it fairly in shadow though. We can redraw this stick over top. I hate having to like draw behind things, you know what I mean? And then this one is behind it. All right, let's also, we were talking about yesterday how I need to get this background. Also, yesterday feels like, I don't know about you guys, it feels like an eternity ago. I did a really long stream yesterday though. I did longer than I normally do. So that's probably why it feels a little bit more. You know, maybe I should go in with the oil thinner brush for this background section. Because I kind of wanted to like really fade into the sky back here. And then we're going to put in more of the sky. But like these are going to be some of our lighter elements. Let's up this saturation. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm using some of my imagination. Don't do it at home. It's very dangerous. Because I'm so overwhelmed by all these leaves, I think I need to just get a little more. Actually, we gotta leave that brightness in there. Gotta get them well established. Some of these are more like a yellow green, a bit warmer in some of these spaces. Maybe not that bright. There we go. That's about how that looks. It's tough capturing these like really harsh like shadow changes and making them feel natural. Like I wonder if I need to be using like an in-between blender color. Not sure about that one. Like maybe we need to use some creative liberty here. Just kind of outline these a little bit better. Or maybe because I'm making it too dark. I need to lighten it up a little. I think we need to darken up on this back side here. I'm gonna do a little in here, but redder, a little warmer, and then we get a little, actually a little green, like a yellow green in here. Or we might not be able to go the full hour, guys. Unfortunately, it feels like my migraine's getting worse. So I don't want to aggravate it by being on the screen too much longer. So we might have to cut it short. Get more of these brown shades under here. Oh, maybe not that much. Went a little too crazy there. Maybe something more like this. A little right there. Alright, the branch definitely needs a little bit of attention. And then this leaf comes in front. We need to brighten that up, but I'm not gonna worry about it just yet. It's bluish. I didn't want to darken out the background too much, but I almost feel like I want to. Just a little in some places. Just as we kind of build it outwards. All right, let's go back to the sky. I think I want to make it just more like this neutral shade blue. Well, it's not too neutral, actually. It's, I don't know what I'm saying, guys. It's like darker, a little more saturated. Gonna blend it in up there a little. I'm just gonna fill these in. I feel like I can hear my watercolor teacher's voice in my head. She's like, paint abstract, little abstract shapes, rather than trying to paint every leaf. Like, I'm trying. It's funny because when I first started watercoloring painting at our classes, like, I was very timid with color. And then, like, I had taken a break for a while, and then I took another class. And after that, I had dyed my hair. I think it was purple at the time. And I'd also gotten bolder with painting. And it's like, she's like, you're not scared of color anymore. And I remember just, like, laughing. Because I was like, yeah, I mean, look at my hair. Your girl's not afraid anymore. But she was talking about my artworks. But I was like, yeah. I'm learning. I would like to reach out to her, but there's part of me that's still like a little embarrassed that I'm like still not fully making a living off of art, and like I don't want to. She'd be like, oh, how are you doing? And I'll be like, still pursuing art. Probably not a good choice these days, but I know I shouldn't think that way, but I can't help but feel like that. I don't want to. Not sure if I'm worried about her being disappointed in me, but more, I think I'm just more disappointed in myself, but that's not a very healthy thing. I gotta face my fears. I'm not the only one out there who's trying to make it work. Everybody's got struggles. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna up this highlight just a little on this leaf here. Pop it forward more. I think eventually it'd be fun. If I see she has an art class somewhere I can take, like actually get to, then I would like to take another lesson from her. Like, do you remember me? It's like, because I was always like, for some reason those classes, they weren't college classes, maybe that's why. They were like an art. What's the word you would use? Like an art facility? I don't know. But I was always the, like 20, 30, 40 years younger than everyone there. I was like, why aren't there any young people take classes? But you know what? It didn't matter because, like, they were older ladies, but they were really great. Like, sometimes it'd be nice to, like, meet some younger artists, but You know, the older ones are just as entertaining and fun to talk to. It's also fun because a lot of the people there, actually all of them, I don't think any of them were doing it professionally or were like trying to make a career out of it. And it's just fun seeing people choose to make art just for the fun of it. And I feel like when you decide to make art a career, there is that like little bit of you that loses it. So I really respect people who like take the time to like, because learning how to paint and draw and everything is really hard. And if you're just doing it for a hobby, that's an insane amount of effort you have to put in for something that like really isn't going to have any more like return value than just like your pure enjoyment. And so like granted, like that's why I still make art, just because I enjoy it, but there's a slight difference, you know? Because I remember when I was just like a hobby artist, and it's just a little different. I think there's like this inevitable feeling that like you are creating like a product, and it might have a lot to do with just like feeling like you need to be continually like creating. But if you're a hobby artist, there's really no pressure. Like if it takes you 2 years to finish a painting, it doesn't matter, you know? So it's just fun seeing people like enjoying art, pursuing it, and just doing it for the fun of it. And like they usually make art pieces. They were usually making like art pieces to gift to somebody, or with somewhere special they visited. It's just really wholesome. Yeah. Taking art classes is fun. It's also really fun like watching, I think I was saying this yesterday, seeing how everyone interprets their reference photos, and then hearing also like the teacher's instructions about how to like do it. It's really interesting because every art piece calls for a little different approach. But then there's like things that are similar. So it's important like to listen, even if the teacher isn't talking about your work, to listen about what they're saying about their work, because you can use it to like improve your own, or it may not be the project you're working on now, but later down the road you may have a project, and that advice would be very helpful. I had to laugh though. My teacher, I was walking out of class with her, and how we got in this subject where she's talking about, I was talking about learning about art and like how I want to improve. You know, even back then I was really impatient about improving. She's like, well, you're doing like really well. Like, she's like, some of these ladies have been in my classes for years and you're only here for your second one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a good point. And she's like, the difference with you is you listen to what I'm saying. And that stuck with me. And that was one thing, like when I'm in class, like if my teacher is like talking, like I highly recommend this, guys. What they're saying is important. Unless you have a terrible teacher, but like you can tell if what they're saying is nonsense. And like she was clearly a really good artist because she had the art pieces to prove it. And like I had seen her work like in real time, and also her work just like older paintings she had done. And she would bring in some ones that she had done before. And so yeah, when she would say something, I was definitely listening. And I still remember like a lot of things that she told me. So when I'm working, I remember. I hear her words in my head. Okay, let's see. I keep looking up for my reference. It's not up. It's right next to it, Emma. Guys, I'm losing my mind. Maybe we cut streams sooner than I was thinking, because the hard part is when you start to get like a migraine, it makes it really hard to kind of like see things properly. But you know what? Maybe it's just this art piece that's giving me a migraine. Maybe I don't actually have one. I think it's just this piece because it's getting really hard. Like, where am I supposed to put these leaves? Okay, we erased out too many up here. Make it a little warmer shade. I like this leaf that's like doing this. I like that. Let's add that back in. And then we're getting to see the inside part of it. Here. Tells me 100% exactly how it looked. Okay, then we get this light side of this leaf. Let's get a little more yellow green. Man, guys, talking about it, I really miss taking art classes. I'm like homesick for an art class. Just texture that leaf a little bit. Okay, then this one, this leaf, it's like our foreground one. He comes in front. And he's got some highlights hitting him here. Let's do more blue shades here. Alright, that's pretty good. I think we're rescuing that side of the painting little by little. So you need to get some light up in this section. Okay, too bright. Bit too much. We do need to add, I'm gonna go into like these warm shades down here. Like brownish. We fade that up. Okay, now I need to get darker. Ooh, even darker than that. Oh, that looks close. I like that. Just use a little bit of that here. And under this leaf. Probably down here. But we're getting some green. Just a little bit of color reflection down here. Let's grab our dark greens as well and clean this up a little. It's more like that. And then this apple. Pretty dark under here, actually. And it has a leaf in front. That comes out like this. Alright, I think that's where we leave it for today, guys. We are gonna end a little bit early. We got a fair amount done though on our recipe art we were working on though, which is good. I feel like we had a good base going. Let me turn off these layers. This is what we did today, guys. Wait, not that one. This one. This was today's before and after. Just rendering down a little. I feel like the background, much better. Much, much better. I might go in and pop more saturation on our star player apples on the next stream that I end up doing. Honestly, we could leave it here. I feel like I got my brain thinking in a different way I don't usually, and that's kind of like the name of why we're doing this, and I think it's working. It also just feels good to paint and actually like use color and not worry too much about drawing. Like, this is obviously not accurate 100%, like leaf position, apple position, but it's just getting like a general, it's like gesture drawing but for painting. That's why I like to think about it. But it looks not too bad. What else did we do? What did we do? Well, we did like character studies. I think we had that was kind of fun doing some of those poses in a more like stylized. I think that's kind of a strat that I need to keep using as we go along. Doing these like character design studies. I think I'm ready to move on to like that section. It's going to be interesting once we start doing like drawing heads, but I don't think we do that until, is it June? But before then, guys, I'm almost gonna 100% tell you I'm going to start drawing portraits on stream because I have been watching a lot of videos and I really want to get back into it. I want to draw portraits again. So we're gonna go down that rabbit hole together. I think that'll be fun. So maybe like some days we'll do paint studies and then some days we're gonna do portraits. And I may bust out my vine charcoal. I think that's what it's called. Although, I might not want to do that at my desk. It gets pretty messy. We may just try and find some charcoal brushes in Photoshop. So we may do it physically on paper, or we might do it on the tablet. We'll see where it goes. I have some nice charcoal ones that I used before. I used to practice with. Sometimes it's nice to do something on physical paper. But yeah, guys, it's been real. We got a lot done. Until next time, everybody, keep on creating and enjoying art, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice rest of your Thursday and a good start to your Friday tomorrow. Bye, everyone.